Okay. We chose to do our project on the Assistive Technology Act of 2004. The purposes of this act are to increase the availability of funding for access to, provision of, and training about assistive technology devices and assistive technology services.
To increase the ability of individuals with disabilities of all ages to secure and maintain possession of assistive technology devices.
Increase the capacity of public agencies and private entities to provide and pay for assistive technology devices. I'm still trying to do devices and assistive technology services on a statewide basis for individuals with disabilities of all ages. That was a mouthful.
And increase the involvement of individuals with disabilities and, if appropriate, their family members, guardians, advocates, and authorized representatives in decisions related to the provision of assistive technology devices and assistive technology services.
To provide states with financial assistance that supports programs designed to maximize the ability of individuals with disabilities and their family members, guardians, advocates, and authorized representatives to obtain assistive technology devices and assistive technology services.
And put more simply, by Joy Relton on the American Foundation for the Blind website. Under this law, each U.S. state and territory receives a grant to fund an Assistive Technology Act project. These projects provide services to persons with disabilities for their entire life, as well as to their families or guardians, service providers, and agencies and other entities that are involved in providing services such as education and employment to persons with disabilities.
The 1998 Act was created because individuals with disabilities could not access developing technologies. Manufacturers and software designers of developing technology, as well as telecommunications service providers, were not taking into consideration the specific needs of disabled individuals, resulting in their exclusion from using these devices. This also resulted in unnecessary costs for retrofitting these devices to meet the needs of the disabled user.
The Act states that the use of universal design principles reduces the need for many specific kinds of assistive technology devices and assistive technology services by building in accommodations for individuals with disabilities before rather than after production. The Act also recognized that there was not enough incentive for manufacturers to design devices that incorporated this universal design.
The 2004 Act was an amendment to the 1998 Act. Congress recognized that there is a continued need to provide information about the availability of assistive technology, advances in improving accessibility and functionality of assistive technology, and appropriate methods to use assistive technology in order to create juncture.
Before this Act, the 1998 law had to be renewed every year, implying that the needs of disabled were not important enough to be permanent law. So the 2004 Act is said to show greater commitment to the disabled community.
The 2004 Act defined an individual with a disability as an individual who has a disability and who is or would be enabled by an assistive technology device or an assistive technology service to minimize deterioration in functioning, to maintain a level of functioning, or to achieve a greater level of functioning in any major life activity.
In the purpose statement of the Act, it is said that over 54 million individuals in the United States have disabilities, with almost half experiencing severe disabilities that affect their ability to see, hear, communicate, reason, walk, or perform other basic life functions. And this is all that they gave for definitions of disability.
While the Act defines universal design, in the 1990 Act addresses the need for universal design in technology, it is clear that commitment to universal design has fallen behind the commitment to create segregated places for the disabled to obtain special adaptive devices.
The Maine Assistive Technology Act project mentions universal design in its goals. Its goal is to create a broader understanding and wider availability of assistive and universally designed technology, ensure people with disabilities, their families, and the general public know how to get and use assistive and universally designed technology, and to allow people with disabilities to help shape public policy that promotes assistive and universally designed technology.
How this would affect me in what I'm studying. This act will provide more technology in the classroom, helping myself as a teacher to provide inclusion of all students. It could also possibly eliminate the need for special education classes, allowing kids to feel like they're part of the classroom community instead of feeling inadequate and just segregated and not a part of any of the normal kids.
And as a doctor, this act will allow me to provide information to patients about how to acquire the assistive technologies that I will be prescribing to them. But I would like to expand on the Act's dedication to universal design as a doctor by prescribing technology that can be used by everyone and bought in a store accessed by the general public instead of only those technologies made for the disabled, creating segregation. And that's it.
That's it. Thanks.